Good afternoon. As you can see, this winter, we're getting a little more than our average snowfall here, I figure. And over the years, I've changed the way I plow my driveway a couple times. I do a combination of pushing and plowing to the side. But I find I'm doing more and more pushing and less plowing to the side as I get more picky about where I want the snow piled, so that in the spring when it melts, it goes away faster and doesn't leave my driveway a swamp. So one of the things I've been wanting to do for a couple of years now is put some extensions on my plow, and so that I can still plow to the side but use it more like a box blade. So we got this fresh snowfall here, and what better chance to give it a go. So I'm going to do my best to whip up a set of extensions for my plow and see if I can't test them out on this here fresh snowfall we got. So off we go. So this is my plowing rig. This plow's been on a couple four-wheelers now, but it's always done okay by me. There's some things I hate about it, but all in all, it gets the job done. I don't think that a four-wheeler with a plow is the best way to plow your driveway or deal with snow, but that's what I use because I have a four-wheeler. You know what I mean? I wouldn't buy a four-wheeler to plow my driveway. I just use a four-wheeler to plow my driveway because I have one. And so it also does that, right? It just makes it more useful. So here's the idea of what we're trying to achieve here. So I cut my first two pieces out just to make sure my fit is good. My fit would be perfect if the plow wasn't damaged. I don't know who did that. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But the back here, the fit is perfect. You can see it follows the radius, and that was amazingly easy to measure. I love working with this software because it saves me having to do a lot of calculating that I don't know how or am not really wanting to do. So the idea is that I'm gonna make it removable, but for testing purposes, I'm gonna weld it all on. And so I'm gonna weld it all on, see what I like, and then figure out if I need to make any improvements, and then worry about how I'm gonna make it mount and have that mount be removable. And what the purpose of this wing is to give me the box blade type effect, but I want it to have an angle so that when I'm using the blade in an angle configuration and I'm not just straight pushing, that the snow can come, and it's going to be a hard corner, but it'll hit the corner and then carry on this way out the side. Whereas if I make it a straight box blade, it's not going to want to push the snow to the side. I'm certain that one of the effects of putting this on here is going to be that the snow isn't going to roll as far away from the driveway when I'm plowing at speed. So I've used this plow on this quad a huge amount of hours, and I've used plows on skid steers that angle, and I found them to be useless on a skid steer. And the reason for that is that a skid steer doesn't go fast enough to really roll the snow and push it and have it go way off. So when I plow with this at speed, 30 kilometers an hour is not a ridiculous speed to go at with this quad. With the blade down, the snow rolls 10 feet off into the front yard. And so I'm going to lose some of that roll for sure. It's not going to come off the end of the blade as fast, and it's going to want to make higher banks. So that's going to be a downside to this. But the plus side is that when I'm straight pushing, which I do probably 60% of my driveway is straight pushing, I'm going to have to go back and pick up my windrows way less. So this is my first two pieces, and this is approximately the angle that they're going to live at. And so the next step is, now that I got an idea of what I'm working with, is I'm going to have to design and cut out gussets to put in here to give it some strength. So the idea is that it's going to attach in three places, ultimately. It's going to attach on the top here, on the bottom here, and at the end through the plow here. And I think that should give it enough strength that it should be up to the job. So I'm going to take some measurements and figure out the angles that I want them to sit at in that bracket and start working on that. Hopefully at the end of the day today I'll tack it all together, because I really want to get this done, because I want to test it on the snow that's already sitting on the ground, and I got to plow that snow before work on Monday, so we got to get it done this weekend. So there you have it. We got our gussets cut out and made. You see we had a little mishap here. So I experienced the first issue I've had with that plasma. What happened was one of the unions on the lead screw, this one right here, came loose. So when it went to travel to cut the second part out, it didn't travel, but it kept cutting, and it wasn't until it had already cut a circle that I caught what was going on. Took me a little while to figure out what was going on exactly. But I figured it out, and then I was able to cut out 2 more pieces. Those ones turned out fine. There's just a leaf sitting in that one, so it looks funny. So that's for the other side. So I got all my parts cut out for the other side, so I'm going to go ahead and start tacking that together. And yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld it. I'm going to weld the extension solid. I'm going to put good welds on it, and then I'm going to weld it to the plow, but I'm going to weld it on in a way that I can cut the welds off when I figure out how I want to attach it. I'm flip-flopping between bolting it on or doing like kind of how Boss does their extensions, where I'll add tubing onto the back of the blade and then have a smaller diameter tubing that fits inside, and then I can just slide them in and pin them. I want it to be easy. I want it to be just pins. I don't want to do nuts and bolts. I want to be able to take it off and put them on if I need to. Because there's going to be times where I'm going to want to not have them on, I know for sure. Especially if we get a lot of snow. If we get a lot of snow, it'll probably be too much for the quad to have those extensions on, even a straight push, but we'll see. Either way though, I'm excited to test this thing out. We got a good amount of snow on the driveway to play with, so I'm going to go ahead and get to welding and tacking and grinding and get it all fitted up so we can do some testing. Alright, both sides are welded and welded on. That's asking a lot out of that little offshore welder to weld on this 12 gauge. And they ain't nice welds. But a good amount of that is me, and a good amount of that is the fact this thing has never once fed wire consistently for more than half a second at a time. And that's just the way it lives its life, but it'll do for my purposes. It's good enough for a country plow. Look at that. I'm excited. We are ready for testing. Ready for testing. All right, time for the maiden voyage. Oh, we like that. We like that. Let's see how she plows to the side. One more. There we go. I can feel the extra weight of those wings on the plow. That's why I break things. I already like, not only does it take more, but when I'm straight pushing like this, it's working perfect. And honestly, in the future, I plan to push all my snow to this side anyway. So once you do 2 or 3 strips plowing it to the side, I gotta go and take chunks out of the windrow anyway because it's too much for the quad to move. But it's working great. I bent it already, which doesn't surprise me. So I'll have to make some adjustments probably on the bottom. But I'm gonna do a couple more strips and see how she goes. That's gonna save me. That's gonna take half the time to do the driveway. Already I'm almost done and it's been, what, 10, 15 minutes? Sometimes it takes me over an hour. So this is a game changer. I'm so into this. I don't care if I can't side plow. I might just leave it straight all the time. It's working so good. So good. I love it. I think I added 16 inches total in blade, which might have been a little much. I don't know. This is about as much snow as I usually ever have to do. Like, there'll be days where we get more snow than this, but it's rare. It's rare. But this is the damage I did. I tweaked the corner on the bottom there. I don't know what I hit. For me, plowing is just an endless cascade of hitting things. And usually nothing happens. Nothing happens, but I love it. All my tack welds, because it's heavy tack welded on there. None of them broke. I wasn't nice to it either. I wanted to see how much abuse, you know. I kind of made welds about the size that I figure a bolt would give strength. So I'm trying to see. Yeah, I love it. It worked great. I don't know that I'll ever angle it, to be honest. Now that once I straight push the whole driveway, I don't think I'll, because I got to get off the machine to angle it. So I might as well just straight push everything and then I don't have to get off. And it's fast. Like, it's way faster because I don't have to pick up windrows. I can take snow from here all the way over there and not leave any of it scooching off the sides. Yeah, it's glorious. Anyway, that about wraps it up. Have a great day, folks.